Alright, I am here now, and I'm sketching lilies. I'm sorry I haven't been on here for a while. I've had a difficult day at work and dealing with lawyers. So I figured it was time to sketch again. I got my life together a little bit, so I decided to draw me some pretty lilies, since my book is Lily in the Darkness. And I'm here for you guys if you need me. Alright, now I'm going to draw this piece. I just want to get a setting for my colors here. I thought it might make me feel better. So, I'm constructing my vase first. I feel that it's better when you're starting a sketch, even though it might not be epic. Not everything is epic in life. Sometimes it's just enough to make you feel better. I'm going to do grooves in here. And I'm taking the lines and kind of moving them inward, going that way and that way. I feel that it gives it more of a three-dimensional look with all the sketches I've done. It's just the way you do the lines horizontally. Alright, and then I'm just going to sketch down here, because you kind of got to go with the paper too. You really do. And then find a sketch online that has some nice ley lines. I call them ley lines, just basic lines that you have to have. I'm going to do the bottom here. And then I'm shading in this vase. I like to come over here and just unwind with my art. I really do. I do like the photography. Photography is one of my favorite things to do. I'm waiting on this lawyer to call me back. Oh, how you doing, Aman? I'm sorry, I've been dealing with lawyers with my whole thing. I decided to go with the one lawyer that was with Vincenzo, since she can't take any more of my money, which she wasn't. It was Vincenzo. Thinking about just suing him separately for saying I was dead. I came to that a proclamation. And I thought maybe I should just draw to get my mind off of things. Death has a way of resetting your thinking about things. It really does. And the only thing I could do just to get my mind together a lot of times is draw. My brother tells me all the time that I've only been sketching for 2 years. Oh, I'm okay now. I just worked a lot and I didn't go on live stream because one of my residents literally almost died. And if I didn't get in the room when I did, he would be dead now. And he's only 45. So that was a thing going on in my nursing home. That sucked. You love coloring? Oh, coloring's fine. I used to color all the time, and then I just decided, I can't afford art school, but I decided to practice sketching. And I started with basic things. I've only been sketching for, like I said, 2 years. And it's not a bad hobby to get at all. Yeah, I can guide you. I mean, but yeah, man, if you want to start sketching, just like if you're already coloring, you already got your lines, just start practicing on basic things. You'll get it. If I can draw, I just put effort into it. If I can get it down pat, anybody in the world can do this. And I do mean this because yeah, they say you have to have God-given talent. I get it. But really, you don't know what you could do till you try. And you just start with small things and go with the bigger things. Start with flowers. I really like doing flowers and trees. It's my go to. I love them. The tree of life is awesome to do and really gets your sketching skills down pat because you got to do so many leaves with that sketch. You really do. And then eventually you'll get to the point where you know where to put certain lines where they look three dimensional, which isn't hard. There's YouTube videos over here. There is. I've learned a lot from YouTube videos from they have great artists over here. Great artists. Amazing. And some of them don't come on YouTube until they're great, but they do share how you can. They have cooking videos. I've been watching those, laugh out loud. And they have this YouTube videos, and they always take the meat and they put it in aluminum foil because I was having problems. I will tell you, man, with my pork. Because every time I cook pork or chicken, it would end up dry. And I didn't know how to get my pork and chicken where it actually was good. And every time I got the seasoning now, Pat, but they have amazing cooks over here. Amazing. I was even at work showing some of my friends with these recipes they have over here. And they were amazed over it. Because you don't even really need to watch a cooking show. They have all these amazing people, and sometimes they have different ways of cooking, and it's funny, they're hilarious as they're teaching you to cook, but they got good ideas. And I'm not saying you're a bad cook, but I can be a bad cook. I really can. So, and I say this because you got to know what you're good at and what you're not. I like to get the curvature of all the leaves, and I start with the vase first. But yeah, that's how and then I ended up putting all this stuff in tinfoil because this guy that I was listening to on YouTube, it is inspiring. But this guy on YouTube was so funny. He has a lot of sense of humor, and they have a bunch of them that have a sense of humor because it's not the Cooking Network. It really is not, and I get it, but man, he was so funny, and he was putting. I mean, some of it was I thought was kind of nasty, but he put all this hamburger meat together, and then put some barbecue sauce, and said that you'll have the best thing. But then out of that video, I got the idea that maybe if you put your meat in tinfoil, then put it in the oven, you're better off. And I did, and it worked. I mean, I didn't want to put barbecue sauce and everything into my hamburger meat, but I figured why not use it for pork? And his idea was genius. And these are just people that come on YouTube and they just kind of share their craft, and some of them have really good ideas. And what I've learned in my years is that everybody has good ideas, and we all have our strengths and we all have our differences. And sometimes if you think one cooking video or one sketching artist is bad, I mean, you should never think people are bad or good. If they're in there doing their thing, you learn from everybody, not just one person. And that's how I kind of live my life. And everybody has something to show you in life. Not everyone. And I've learned this because, when you're autistic and you're kind of living your life and you get confused about one thing, you appreciate people's time and what they choose to show you. And instead of scoffing at people and saying, oh, this could be good or this could be bad or whatever, just celebrate what they did for what it is. Sometimes you can cultivate your ideas and get your own path by learning from others. And that's really what I do. And I had some amazing pork, and it was just from videos on YouTube. Yeah, this guy was funny as hell, and probably I'll never make the spaghetti the way he said to make it, but he put like 10 pounds of meat in. All my meat is nice and tender now. So, I mean, something came out of the video, and he had a lot of views. Oh my God, did this guy have a lot of views? He's hilarious, and he was real. And sometimes that's all you need in life is somebody that's real, because we're not all perfect. God, I'm not. I'm the last person in the world that's perfect. I seriously am. I'm not perfect at all. I'm still learning. We all are learning. I'm 51 years old and I learn something new every day from somebody that I never probably will call on the phone. But that's life. I think we're supposed to learn from one another. See, I'm just looking at the stock photo and just kind of freehanding my own way. I got this so far. I'm doing the bottom face. And then I did a lot of coloring, but then I figured why not make my own? So I started doing hearts, flowers, and just little stuff. And I really like it. And then and then why color other people's stuff when you can get your own? That's my thing. And you get the hang of it after a while. You really honestly do. And it never looks like what you're trying to sketch ever. So you don't have to worry about copying someone else's stuff ever. You really don't. It's just like I'm just looking at the layout of these lilies and they're going in a different direction, but I like the way the vase is set. And that's the only reason that I'm even looking at this one, but that's the great thing about the internet. I mean, it could be your worst enemy or your best friend. Got through all this stuff fighting about my dad's house and all this. I've just realized what's really important in life, and that's the people around you. And as for my stepsister, rest in peace, her husband's just bitter and greedy. I'm letting God take care of it. I've watched a lot of Chosen One videos. I know it sounds silly, but I think those videos sometimes when they come and I listen to them, they describe exactly what's happening in my life. It's insane. It really is. But they do. They describe everything I'm going through. They describe everything why I should be more positive, and it's wonderful. Oh, here's Susan. Let me go see here. She put, I will reach out to the VA. It would help to know more about your dad's service. Did he serve in active war, years in service? Any other details you have would help. I'll reach out to Vincenzo as well. See, there you go. Chosen One video helped me. She's still typing. Something's going my way today. I'm trying to think when my dad's service was. So that's good. God's helping me. I got those chosen one videos has been helping me, and then they have this other one with the Joker that talks about if you've been through hell and back, you come back more. I don't refined. They keep talking about refinement, and I was thinking about the subject of being a refined soul, someone that took the darkness and brought it full circle. Consent form to sell the estate back to me so I could sell the house. Okay, let me do this while I'm on thing with you guys. Alright, I'm gonna put my dad served in Vietnam and was active till I was. Bear with me, I'm the worst at texting. I'm not one of these fast texters at all. Till I was. God, I think I was 14 years old. That seems like such a long time ago when I was 14 years old. Years old and retired from service. Don't know the exact dates. Exact dates. And I will sign the consent. Consent. Okay, I can't even think about how to spell consent. I think I would sign the forms to sell the house and mail it to you. I'm going to put really nice, thank you for your help. Give her a heart. Alright, at least I don't have to fight over these ashes and talk to a man that you're welcome. I feel if you're nice to these lawyers, they're nice to you. Oh, I'm good. I'm just tired of talking to lawyers. Tired of it. These lawyers are ridiculous, all of them. I'm just down to just the one bloodsucker that's actually listening to me. I just want to get this house sold. I want to get my dad's ashes done. I want to get his 21 gun salute done. And I just want to live my life and be happy. This is what I'm down to, folks. I can't. My heart can't take this no more. My son has a baby on the way. And God rest his soul. He's been helping me through all this nightmare. These were starting out as lilies, but this is going to be a big bush. Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm just making a little bush type thing. Maybe I'll put a lily in the middle. I feel that would be nice. Yeah, let's see what's going on in your love life. Yeah, it's okay, love life. Yeah, you guys. I'm just up here trying to relax, unwind, and get my mind together with all these damn lawyers bothering me and life hitting me with what's important in life. And folks, I will tell you, going through all this process with my dad's death, realize the ones around you, the ones that are real to you, the people that care about you, and don't push them away. I've through all this, I've got to the point where I started pushing people away. I absolutely have, and I've been crying, and I've been just being nasty to people at times because all of this is heartbreaking when someone dies and somebody doesn't respect the dead. And I get that my dad was a soldier and he had a hard side to him, but my dad was a person that gave his life to serve his country, and he's not getting the respect he needs. So I've just made peace with the spirit world to know that it's my place to make sure he's buried and in a good place. And that's where I'm at. That is absolutely where I'm at. I'm not going to worry about how everything handled, all how he handled his business with the second wife that kind of didn't want nothing to do with me and all the problems after my mom passed away. I'm just trying to worry about giving respect to the dead. I feel the dead should always have their respect. Oh, yeah, man. Anytime. I'm just here to help people. I figure I got so much problems in my life. There has to be people with more problems than me. Laugh out loud. It seems like I get every problem in the world at my doorstep, and I have one test after another. That's it. It's just one test of humanity after another. This is why I'm big on helping people and helping animals. I've had so much happen to me, it's ridiculous. I've had lots of things happen to me, and I get it. Life is could be terrible, but then sometimes it could be good. That's why I'm over here trying to show you guys maybe there's something good, and I try to figure. I'm on that voyage myself, but I'm gonna be right with you, man. I gotta get Poja, our friend Poja. All right, Poja, your love life is in a balsamic moon, and this talks about healing your soul, and I guess the easiest way to describe it would be a healing journey. Everybody's on different journeys. They absolutely are. Every time you do anything, you're on a healing journey, and the other world wants you to elevate. They elevate you by sometimes just literally sometimes having bad things happen and see how you go through it. So it's just saying you're in a healing cycle with your love life so you can elevate yourself and learn to love again. That's all that means. It's not a bad thing. I've been in balsamic wounds I don't know how many times. Probably 10 times in my life. So it's nothing negative. It's just the voyage we gotta go before we die. So when we die or so where we elevate ourselves to a frequency that could go in the other world and have acceptance, because that's what we need to do is have acceptance. So and then you're surrounded by a full moon in Scorpio, and this talks about releasing negative things that bring you down. And I'm sensing this negativity is not you giving out the negativity, it's you receiving it. And when you receive negative things all the time, sometimes it's up to us to see if our soul is strong enough to forgive another, to move on, to elevate our own frequency. So I've done this before, Hoja. I have, and it's the hardest thing in the world to forgive somebody that has hurt you so badly. But once you do this, it leaves them with their own problems, their own energy to deal with. And that's what you want. You don't want to deal with that negativeness. You need to be in the positive, and you got to be in a different awareness because that'll eat your soul alive. Then you got a full moon in Gemini, and this just talks about answers that you've been waiting that are coming to you. And I do see also in these cards, I see somebody that's coming for you to heal you. I see I see somebody with longer, darker hair and smoky eyes. Like darker, but it has like different colors. And he's coming to heal you. And when people come to heal you, it's usually a more positive relationship. But I will warn you, when this person comes, Poja, you can't let these negative things from these other relationships spill over, because that's what's going to kill it. And it will. You'll nicely have an exit to that relationship nicely, and you don't really want that. You want to try to be happy and keep your relationship. So I do see somebody coming, but it's going to be when you forgive everybody from your past. And it's rough. I would literally just, if you have to, if you drink a little, have a drink of wine and go on a nature walk. No, he's from the he's coming from the future. He's a future one coming. But yeah, go on a nature walk and just release all that negative energy. I do it all the time. That's why you see all these videos where I'm on a nature walk, because I let things go when I'm out in nature. But however you need to relax, just relax and just release it, and release it from yourself. So you don't have to deal with the all that hurt no more. Give the hurt back to them. And then this person before will appear the minute you do that. And it gets, it's hard. I know I could say things. I've done it. I mean, I have done it. I've done it a couple times, and it was the hardest thing I had to do, and it broke my heart doing it. But it was a more positive result when I did. And that's just about the best advice I can give you. I'm not lying. I had a drink. I had to get drunk before I did it, just to relax. And then I think later, a week later, I had to go on a nature walk, because that's just what I do. I go with my dog on a nature walk, and I take beautiful pictures for you guys. I try to show you guys all the beauty I've seen in nature. And I'll probably later on be going to the park again. So let me get a mons. All right, you want to know how Ahmed feels about you? Let me see. I'm trying to get better at this. I really am. All right. All right. You want to know how Ahmed feels about you? He has not been engaging with you since you distanced yourself. That'll happen. People recognize distance, especially if they care about you or if they were connected to your energy. So don't feel like that if they're acting a certain way. Someone that's been intimate with you in any which way can sense your energy. They absolutely can. So you got to remember that too. But let's see what's going on with your situation with him. All right. All right. Your person is in a full moon eclipse. And when you're in a full moon eclipse, that means they're in a part of their spiritual journey that they're looking for answers to questions. They want the conclusions. They're confused. It's like a confusion card. He's reached his soul knows something's wrong, but he can't figure it out. This is pretty much what I can the best I can explain the full moon eclipse. And then he is surrounded by a cardinal moon. And this is just talking about being bold and making first moves, which in his case would be asking what is wrong. What did I do wrong? This is where your person is at. And then he is surrounded by a new moon in Taurus. And this talks about prosperity being ahead. So he has money opportunities and things, but sometimes moving ahead with prosperity is hard when your love life is falling apart. So I'm sensing that this Ahmed loves you. He's trying to piece together what's going on in his life, and I don't think he's awakened enough to know what's going that it directly is affecting you, and it has to do with you because unawakened people, they feel sometimes weird and they can't, if they're not attuned with their spirituality. This is what happens. This is a lot of times what happens. I don't think he's spiritually awakened, but he realizes something's wrong, and that's why he's acting funny. What I would do is have a heart to heart talk with him, tell him exactly how you feel, and just tell him what it is that bothers you, and make sure it's the truth, and let him know that you don't want to break up, but you want to change your frequency. You want to kind of put all this negativeness behind you. And that's kind of how you got to treat this. And they're either going to accept it or not accept it. That's the scary part about it. I'm not going to lie, it's scary when that happens. It's very scary. So, all right. And then I'm going to get Marietta. You, it says here, you will be a will I be a good, submissive housewife for Carl in the future? I I didn't do a deck on that, but honestly, do you really want to be submissive? I mean, I would say that when you're with somebody, you want to have a full relationship and be open and be able to have your energy and have somebody with you as a partner. Being submissive to somebody, I don't know. I feel like that would be taking down your frequency. But if you really want to be submissive, you can. But I can do a reading on you if you like still. I think it's Marietta. All right. Well, let's do this deck on here, but I wouldn't suggest being submissive. Love is about what souls uniting, not one being submissive to another. So, I mean, that's the origin of love, but you got a cardinal moon on that. And this is talking about being bold and making first moves, which is okay. And that's just much. That's pretty much just saying that if you did do that, it could work out. But will you really be happy? I would really think about that because you're making a commitment to lower your frequency. And then you got a full moon eclipse, which talks about conclusions. answers, conclusions coming to you about that. And then you got New Moon and Taurus. There's going to be prosperity, which is good. So I do see you being a good submissive, but I guess the question and the elephant in the room, Mariana, is will that really make you happy? Being number two and him always being number one. I don't I don't know. I just feel like that would lower all your frequencies, but it could work out for you, but for how long? I would really think about it if you still have time. So, oh, you're welcome, Aman. You are very welcome. Oh, well, I see it working out. I really do. But make sure it's what makes you happy. In this world, worry about yourself and making yourself happy. You're only going to be alive for 50 to 100 years. And you got to make those years, excuse me, you got to make those years count. Because once you die, I do believe in reincarnation. I believe you, I see you being happy, but I guess I would go on a soul journey. Maybe meditate and really try to get a hold of and touch with your inner self and trying to see if that truly is going to make you happy. Because if you're not truly happy with being number two to somebody, that might destroy you and you might break up with them and pull away from them, and they're going to notice that pull, especially once that you get in that relationship. They're used to a certain energy, and then it changes. That they're going to know, and they're going to say, do you love me, and this and that. So I would be careful with that and really sit or really want, make sure that that's what you want, because in this world it's about what you want and what you create for yourself. So I would just do that for now. And if you come to that conclusion that this would make you happy, then go for it. I'm not trying to diminish anyone's happiness. And I wish you the best luck, and I'll pray for you. I really, truly will pray for you. And I pray for everybody, but I will pray for you. So, oh, Karan, I haven't heard from you in a minute. How you been? All right, you want to know what's coming for you in the month of September. All right, let me get you. Yeah, I've been in a spiritual journey with all this with my dad. And I've come across and I share this information with you because I've been on a spiritual journey with the deities about my soul and my dad and everything that happened and yada yada yada. So I don't give advice that I did not get myself. So, and these are truths. So, all right, Karan, what's coming for you this month? The energy that's coming towards you is avoid a course milk. There's a situation going on that you're hoping comes out more prosperous money wise. And in this situation, it's not going to end up the way you want it in the financial. Then you got a new moon in Gemini energy also surrounding that. And this talks about communication. And that's why this situation's not going to go far until this person that is involved in some partnership gets I don't know, a change of heart and more involved in what's going on. And then you got a new moon in Leo talking about confidence being the key to your success. I would approach whatever you have financially and double check everything and ask them if that is what is going on, and say, I really need to get my life together. And that's what I'm picking up. And I pray for you all the time, Brian, because you have lots of financial problems. And we all do. I have them too. I just let the universe take care of it one day at a time. We all have financial problems. The world is a chaotic place now. It's not even a good place anymore. The energy and the vortex that is coming into this porthole is always chaotic, always. And it's always turning, and sometimes it's not good, and sometimes it is. Sometimes you really got to fight for your good energy. So, oh, you're welcome. I'm always grateful to help somebody. Oh yeah, I always pray for you, Karan. I feel that you have chaotic energy like me all the time. People are always messing with you and doing bad things to you and bad intentions just like they are me. I feel we're two peas in a pod, as they used to say. And this is why I give you this advice, because I just do what I need to do, and I try to center myself, because sometimes people aren't nice. People are nasty. People don't care about your feelings. People don't care about the outcome of what you have to deal with. They just care about their own skin. And this is how life is. People are greedy. They don't care about how their actions affect animals, people, or anything. I've heard horrible things. I've heard people say, "Oh, it's just a dog," and they beat him up, or it's my wife will get over it. And I'm beside myself. How could people be so cruel? So, people are very cruel in this world, and there's more cruelty coming. I want to prepare you guys. There's an energy flux of a lot of cruelty coming. I feel a lot of strong energy coming in that way. So, you got to be careful. You got to guard your energy. Guard it. Guard it and keep it sacred, because that's what we're here to do. And I'm here to help all of the masses. So, but yeah, shift team, Rube, I would be love. I would love to give you a reading. And I do tell you guys this because I feel the shift, the negative shift all the time. Everybody feels that things negative will go away. All right, I'm gonna get a sheesh bulk red. You want, is the connection between Lavisha and I over, or will I reconnect? Last time I spoke to her last year. I will do a reading on you and Lavisha. That's a really pretty name. I've never heard that. I was thinking about taking some fertility pills since I'm going to live a long ass time. And that is actually a nice name. But I don't know if I do end up having a miracle getting pregnant. It probably will be my mother-in-law's name if I had a girl, but that is a pretty name. But let's do a reading on Lavisha. All right, Lavisha is in a supermoon, friend, and this talks about when emotions are running all over the place and people are acting chaotic, and it makes us into monsters. It does. The super when people are in this kind of energy field, they're not themselves. They're ridiculous. They assume stuff. They do a lot of really bad stuff. They honestly do. And that's where she's at. And she's very chaotic right now. And then she's surrounded by a full moon in Libra. And this talks about an equal outcome. She's involved with something. I'm feeling it's financial and possibly another partnership with somebody, but that she's not having sex with no one, but there's a offer on the table. I do see an offer on the table. Then she's surrounded by a full moon in Aquarius. And this is just a suggestion that the spirit world is putting out for her to let her true self come out. She's hiding her inner self. And I don't understand why. Why would you hide your who you really are? I don't know. I honestly can't really say one way or another. She's just involved with a lot of stuff going on. I guess it's up to her if she wants to be true to herself or go along with the opinions of others. There's a lot of people influencing her. This Lavisha. I mean, I hope that she picks peace and her inner self, but I don't know if she's going to pick peace. So I don't know. I'll have to pray for you, Ashish. I will. I will pray for you guys because that's a hard thing. It really is. That's terrible to be in that kind of energy feel. Hopefully she comes to and realizes that inner peace is what we create, but not everybody realizes this till it's too late. That's the thing with inner peace. People think that it's going to just come when we want it to come, and it's going to come because the universe, we just deserve it. But that's not God's honest truth. Peace comes from you're making your soul happy and setting things in your life to where what makes you truly happy. And some people really never get that. And in death, they see it, but by that time, it's too late because the people you pushed away already moved on and got full lives and they're happy, and you realize you're all alone. This is why it's important to be positive through your life. Because if you're not positive through your life in death, it shows you all the pain that you've shown people. It really does. And this is what happened to my dad. My dad, yes, I do love my dad. I love everybody, but he was one of these people, my dad, that was he didn't understand his true self. He wasn't awakened and he caused a lot of pain to his family and stuff. And in the end, yes, he did die alone and probably that, but I'm sure death showed him why he died alone. And I'm just here to warn you guys that it does, it is nice to have money and stuff. It is. It's nice. It's nice to go on that big vacation. It's wonderful too, but at what cost? You gotta kind of make sure that you're not disappointing the people around you. That's the thing. So I would just maybe pray on that and hopefully she reconnects with you, but that's really totally up to her, and she's really in a chaotic field right now. And chaotic energy, friends, only make people leave you. I will tell you that. Don't be judgmental towards people. And I'm not even saying that because it's a bad idea. I'm saying it because these kind of actions will come back onto you. And when they come back onto you, it's always not in the nicest way. Not at all. Sometimes these actions that you do and you go, oh, I got my revenge. They weren't that good. Blah blah blah. That could have been your test to see if you really were a good person or not. So this is sometimes how life tests you. This is my favorite pencil sharpener. It is so hard to find a good pencil sharpener. I found this at work, laugh out loud. And I've went through so many pencil sharpeners, and this one just if you decide to get into sketching, pencil sharpeners, getting a really nice one is that works for you is the hardest thing to do sometimes. It really is. I kind of like how this is turning out. Now I'm going to do a little lily in the middle and just kind of have this way. I know it's not exactly how this drawing is, but this so far. And now I'm going to this lily in the middle coming out. But I think I got everybody's question. I have clarity today. I'm so happy. I have not had clarity in such a long time. It's been crazy. Just dealing with lawyer after lawyer, and it's been terrible. Getting clarity in your life sometimes is the hardest thing. It really is. It's terrible to get for all that. So, I don't know. Maybe God will be nice to me in my dad's service. Maybe my dad's soul's at rest, which I really hope it is, even though he didn't treat me as good as he should have. I'm hoping and I pray he found peace in death. I really do. My dad was a soldier. He was, I guess, in a lot of ways, a mercenary. And I hope he found his peace in death. And maybe I'll have enough money to have a decent burial for him and have enough money to help out my son with his new baby. Since I did name my son, I gave him my dad's last name because I felt that my dad should be honored, even though he wasn't the nicest dad on the planet. I felt he still should be honored. So my son actually has his last name. Even though I was with someone else obviously, but I told him I was given Brandon, his grandpa's last name, and that was it, and that person I was with said okay. And he's fine with it. And just subsequently we broke up and he never had another boy, but I thought my dad deserved to at least have his boy. And I knew that my dad would never have a legacy because he was just so much in the army and so much involved with army politics that he never really got to know his inner self ever. I felt like his inner self was screaming. And a lot of times, military people go through this. They honestly do. They could be the hardest parents to have because they don't know how to show love because they're so involved with just their army stuff and their military things. So I'm hoping that hopefully he found his peace in death and I got enough money to help out the people he left behind. Me and his grandkids and the one grandson that's holding onto his name. And really that's why I wanted. I'm not greedy. I was gonna actually give my son $10,000 to get a house. That was one reason that I kind of wanted the money, was for my son. And this is true facts. I did not ever want the money for myself. I mean, if I do get it and it benefits my life, in the end, my kids are going to get it when I die anyway. So that itself, I'm not doing it for me. I hope that the energy out there feels what I'm saying and helps me in my journey to help my son and my grandson Owen that will be born soon to have a nice house because my son does have a good job but he does need help to get it and I'm hoping I can give him that help. I really do. So in death I hope my dad, since he never really kind of did a lot to help us, could help us in death because his spirit was very chaotic and trapped. So that's what I'm hoping and I pray for because my poor son's over there trying to help me, and that's why I did all this cooperating with this other lawyer because I don't want him to have to worry and carry my burden. I just don't. I feel my son has too much going on in his life, as they say. Alright, now I'm putting little lines out. I got this so far. I'm putting a lily in the middle. I feel the lily in the middle would be pretty. And I'm going to make a white lily. So I'm using my white stuff today. I am doing that. Alright, and with these guys here, I'm going to put some veins in these. I like lilies the most because they're peace lilies. I think I love how lilies represent peace, and I feel that we all need peace in our life. I really do. And I just put thin veins in there. You just put thin little veins. But yeah, I do pray for this, and I even actually texted my son too and told him to not worry about this whole case, and we'll just see what's in the military fund for him. I'm hoping, God, I hope that something helps my son. My son worries about me so much because I'm not going to lie, folks, I was suicidal for a while. I really was. I told my son just to go ahead and bury me, and when we eventually get his ashes, just bury me with his ashes. And my poor son was sitting there telling me, he would sit there and go, Mom, I'll bury you, but I'm not. But when God wants you, I'm not burying you any other time. This is what he told me when all this started happening. I've been going through it, folks. Death has a way of just kind of reminding us how small we are in the world, and I guess through all this, I've realized that no matter how mean your parents are to you, they're still your parents, and there's always that connection. There's always that connection. And when you think you're doing fine, the minute you find out they passed on, that's when all of everything floods back. And you're not angry. You're just, I guess you're angry at the situation. Because I do. I get angry at the situation more than the circumstance. I just wish my dad, when my mom died, would have been a little more understanding to me because I'm a very peaceful person. I really am. And I just want the best for people, and I kind of would have liked if my dad would have included me more in his life, but after my mom died, he said I looked like my mom. He absolutely did, and that's why a lot of times he did not speak to me. And in my heart, I knew this, and it hurt. It hurt badly. I'm not going to lie. And it, just, I mean, there's no one else to hear me, but I'm hoping that maybe in the afterlife my dad hears me. I really do. I'm shading in all the veins of it, and of this nice lily. The nice peace lily vase here I got going on. I just do little shadings. I feel like if you do a nice sketch and you could do nice shadings with it, it makes it so beautiful. It really does. And I'm going to put veins in all of them so it doesn't look so abstract. It looks like a beautiful flower. And the thing with lilies is you got to have this thing in the middle. You take it out and you just do like two little tiny leaves. And that's all it takes. It's like really easy. You just got to look to see the basics of a lily. And that's what a lily, the basics of a lily is. It's the middle. And then you take from the middle, you just take little tiny lines and extend it out in between. And it makes the lily look really nice and realistic. Because, I mean, that's your main thing is you want to have a realistic lily. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this to make it a little fuller. And I'm going to make another little leaf here. And you just gradually just add leaves. That's what I do. I just gradually add stuff. And you can overlap them. And then you just shade over like that. I see I added another leaf. Just keep adding little things. And it makes your sketch really nice. I could do this all through this way. I can. I just got to see where I can place another one. I might have to just place more leaves. So I'm thinking about doing another lily over here. So, and they have more wider leaves. So I'm gonna do the lily here. I like to look at the basic sketching, so I kind of know how to crinkle up these here. I'm gonna take one and put it here. Because I'm not out in nature. Well, I am, but I'm on a dog walk laugh out loud with my dog trying to get squirrels. It's not like I'm paying attention and figuring out the anatomy of a lily because I got to make sure my dog isn't attacking a squirrel or something crazy. And I don't know. Right now, I don't think that he wants to hurt them. I think he just wants to play with them like dogs do. So when we get down the park, when I get all those lovely photography, it's usually in between him trying to play with a squirrel. And he could be brutal with these squirrels. He really can. Alright, I'm doing got this lily going on, but I'm only doing like the lily just like I'm representing the lily kind of integrated with everything. And once you get to sketching for a while, this stuff comes like second nature. I promise it does. It used to be the hardest thing for me to do. It really was. I used to sit there and come on YouTube and thinking, how the hell am I going to execute this? How? This is so hard. And sometimes the hardest things, if you practice them enough, they become so easy in the end. They really do. Lilies at first, I think lilies and roses were the hardest for me personally to grasp. They really were. I couldn't I couldn't take it. But once you get the middle, because all these little buds go in the middle, you're good. And then you just take right where in between these, and then you just sketch out that way. And I like to put veins in them. Not every sketch artist does this, but I like to. I feel having a little veins in your flowers makes everything nice. And it kind of shows the contrast of your sketch. But you'll get your own routine. You absolutely will. See, now I got another little lily hanging that way. And that's all you do. You just kind of go in opposites like this. And I'm going to do little leaves this way. I'm going to do a shadow of a leaf this way. And the shadows are easy. I just put one in there. You're just showing like they're lilies. And then lilies always come down a little. So you're coming down a little like that. And then you do another shadow. And then I always shade the veins in. Just to show that there's probably another lily over there. That's what you do. It's easy. And then I'm going to put it down this way. And then I'm going to put the veins that way. And just kind of play around with it. Make it your best friend. That's what I do. I just make these my best friend. Then we got two more that way just to give it more fullness. And then you just kind of keep going up. And like I said, once you get these stock photos and you get an idea of how you absolutely have to have the middle so it looks like a lily, you kind of just go on and do your own thing after that. And then I'm just doing a bunch of these little leaves this way and just doing little veins that way. It just gives it a nice silhouette. Because that's what your audience is looking at and you always have an audience when you're an artist, always. But when your audience is looking at it, whoever's looking at your painting, they're going, wow, the detail. It's just in all this little stupid stuff. It really is. And I'm going to put a big lily up here. I think I'm going to start another big lily up here. So I'm going to try to get a full lily this way, going down. And I like to sometimes watch how some people get it because I like to get the dexterity of the 3D effect. Because some sketch artists are really good at that. And you can learn from it. Once you kind of learn the basics, you learn that. And you can teach yourself. Absolutely, why not? And it's more rounded out lilies. I think a lot of flowers are rounded out, but especially lilies. Sometimes roses can be, but they're more at a curve. That's the thing. They always seem to be coming up at a curve. And then we're going to go down this way. Sometimes I just got to pay attention to the basic lines of the lily. And every lily's leaves are like this one's kind of like a heart, this lily's leaves. I like flowers because I feel that they always have, everyone's different. It's like snowflakes. Every flower, every tree is different. But they have some things that make them where you could say, hey, that's a lily, but then every lily is kind of different. Leaves have all kinds of imperfections just like people. That's why I am so in tune with nature, I guess you could say. You could see, if you pay attention to nature enough, you can understand. Through nature, it mimics us, and you can understand why everybody's souls are different, why everybody's journeys are different. Just paying attention to nature. And it is absolutely true. I pay attention. Because sometimes I'm not all knowing. My one friend used to say I was all knowing, and I said, I am not all knowing. Not at all am I all knowing. I said, I have my own problems just like everyone. But I gave her a lot of good help. Now she just stuck in a bad situation, my sister, so we talk here and there, but she just has this boyfriend that was supposed to be her husband and all this that and they had this baby and he took full control of her and that's all there is to it. But see, just kind of stick that there just to signify all these different things. And I'm going to do another lily over here because I kind of want to get this really nice. There we go. I'm going to get this here that way. And you can make these leaves like some there might be an imperfection on it, some maybe not. And I'm going to get this one coming down and then bring this that way. And then I'm going to show that this is a lily by these signature middle parts. Middle parts with the little tiny, I like to call them little tree sprouts because that's what they have, little tree sprouts in them. And then you make these little leaves, and when you make the veins on the leaves, you put them towards the direction of your painting or just in general the direction of everything. So I'm just sketching this out here. It is turning out pretty lovely. I didn't think I would be able to get this as decent enough as the artist that did this of hers, but mine looks different, but it looks lovely. Almost as lovely as hers, and she's on Amazon, so. And I was actually at that. Now I'm gonna bring another one out. I'm gonna bring some leaves out this way. Just to kind of fill this up. Because you want to fill it up and not have it, if you want to have the more filled out look. And I do because this is a big flower arrangement. I'm doing just a signifying a flower arrangement. I love flower arrangements. I think they're gorgeous. I enjoy them. I think flowers are some of my special things. I always told people all through my life that I didn't want to get roses that were cut because I feel that roses are so beautiful. I'd like them to try to live as long as they can because I feel they're so beautiful. And I hate when people cut them. I've always hated when people cut roses. And people will, they'll give you a dozen roses, but I feel like it's like giving you, I don't like if people give me dead things or things that are going to die very soon. I would rather them just stay beautiful all on their own. But that's just me. Alright, I am going to start another small one here. Bring these out, and I'm going to do little, I call them little tree sprouts. And then cultivate another one over here. Bring this one out. Alright. Now I'm going to start with the leaves. There we go. Out this way. Just do that. Just on the edge here to make it nice and pretty. And I'm going to make little veins in here. And I think I'm going to make this white because I want to have a nice peaceful day. I do, and I feel that it might bring peace to everybody today, having nice little lilies in the stream. Sometimes I feel that drawing these is better than having them picked out in the wild because you can have them all the time and no death had to happen to get them. I hate when people say they own animals or those are your flowers or this and that. I feel that we didn't make this. We don't own dogs. I hate when they say you have ownership. Is that your dog? I say yes for my own dog's safety, but I don't feel we should have ownership over nature. I really, really don't. I hate the fact that people take ownership like this and then you go to court and you could just own something like that. I feel that I don't know. I guess I feel in a way that it's an insult to nature if we do that. I don't know. That's just the nature conservatist in me talking, but I hate that. I watch all these videos where these poor dogs are going through hell and back, and they have all these people literally is trying to get ownership of them because they have a German Shepherd, and Chong is half German Shepherd, so I cry over a lot of these videos. I'm gonna start another one here, and I hate when people do that. Hate it. Like I don't believe in people trafficking humans, much less animals. And I feel like if you didn't create that thing, how can you have ownership over something? I feel like we have a partnership with nature. I don't feel that we have ownership. You see these poor dogs and they're miserable until a nice person comes along and helps them. Why does it have to be that way? Why do we have to breed pit bulls if there's such an issue where pit bulls got to be put down all the time? Why are we breeding them? Why are there still people out there making money off of them? And they and they're and I swear when they give birth, it's the natural order things where the mother dog just wants to be around the dogs. And yeah, if I have we have our babies. And of course, you want to raise your pups and your babies and everything. That's what you want to do. And we take away this luxury from animals. We just take it away heartlessly. And I don't know. Sometimes in this world, it just makes me disgusted that we treat things that are so beautiful in such a hostile way. It makes me ashamed of the human race. It really does. And I do really feel this wholeheartedly. I spent $1,000 because to make my dog a service dog because of the harsh treatments that these dogs have to go to. Because honestly, if you get rid of your dog, it just goes to possibly some horrible person, especially if they're half German Shepherd. They teach them to bite. They teach them to do all this stuff. They teach them to do stuff that's against their own nature. And these dogs, they struggle with depression. They get stressed. They get this and that. And then they blame the dog. Why blame the dog? This is where I come from. This is my viewpoint. I blame the humans. I just feel that we have gotten so evil, that we think this is a normal thing. And it's not. It really isn't. And it is true that they have their own feelings. I mean, I've talked to people and they told me, "Do animals have feelings?" I was like, "Do they cry? Do they want to be with their young?" And they said, "Yeah." Then I said, "Obviously they have feelings then. Why are we having this conversation?" I mean, it's people like that that make the world a horrible place. They really do. And these breeders, I have a friend that her family, they've had houses and everything because they sell pit bulls. And the thing is my one friend told me I don't have this animal shelter yet. That is one of my goals before I die. Hopefully I get it. I might not. I don't know. If the universe wills it, if God wills it, then I'll get it. If I don't, I don't. But they asked me if I want a 4 month pity. I said I would love to, but I have Chong, and I just fear for their safety. I fear for what everybody does to these animals, even the aquatic ones. I mean, these orcas, I don't know if you guys have seen the videos over here where they say they're getting more aggressive. I don't blame the orcas for getting more aggressive because what we're doing to them. I mean, if what we did to them, and when I was younger with SeaWorld, they would hunt orcas, and sometimes they would kill the males in different parts of their family to get the babies, and they would kill these orcas, and then some would survive. And then there was a big thing going on when I was younger that the orcas would get revenge. Hell yeah, they would. They're smart. They're smart as orcas are smart, they was saying, as like a 20-year-old person. Very intelligent. And we take the most intelligent, beautiful things. Oh, here we go. I kind of put it everywhere. Happy lilies everywhere, folks. But yeah, I don't blame the animals. I don't blame the animals for hating us. I don't. Sometimes I hate us. This is why I try to be a better human. I honestly do, because I feel we all should be try to be better humans and actually respect the world around us. Why should the world respect us? Why should we have any love if we don't allow other things to have love? And do we really deserve love if we are given so much negativeness out? We don't honestly even deserve to live the way we treat the planet. I feel bad for my fellow man. I do. I'm going to take a picture of this and then I'm going to color it in with pastels. All right, let's do that. All right. I'm coloring that in with pastels now. But yeah, I mean, I feel terrible. And I look into the eyes of animals a lot. And I feel bad for everything we do to them. And I try to do everything I can. Yeah, I didn't. I gave my last $1,000 for my dog to be protected from evil humans. I got they're acrylic markers. These could be your best friends as a sketch artist. These truly can. And there's a white one. I gotta make sure this is white because sometimes I do these and they're not. But yeah, I do have my reservations. See, and then I always have these because I make sure my marker's good. What I'm gonna do is just the parts that I want white before I get the pastels in. I want to color this in here so the white surrounds in here. So it's like they're painted. It's paint. It's painting. You're just painting with a marker. And it's really nice. I just like put it in the middle between the little sketchings here where I want the white one. But yeah, I guess, and that's one reason I'm up here. It really is because these animals, they need us. And we are horrible to them. We are horrible to every animal. We worry about our own skin, but what are we doing to the environment? What are we doing to these poor animals that are going around being tortured? We torture animals. We absolutely do. And, and where does it get us? It gets us nowhere. All this animal torture. I just hate it. I hate how everybody's so mean. I really do. I'm hoping one day we have a better, happier world, but I never know these days. I really don't. I'm sure I'll be getting on YouTube and there'll be another poor animal that was tortured. It always happens. But I'm going to go ahead and get this. But I don't know. Hopefully, something nicer happens in the world. And I mean, there is movements going on, and I'm happy about that. About the different movements. Sometimes I use some acrylics. You got to get another one. I got lots of these. I get these on Amazon and they're not that expensive. There are movements going on with these groups on YouTube. And I know you guys have all seen them. All these different movements where people are helping out animals and that makes my soul happy that we have that going on YouTube. And that's what makes me happy about YouTube because YouTube really cares. They do. I mean, I know I've heard from people that people are going to be dark no matter what, but I'm happy that there's people that care. And there's groups out there that's trying to help the animals because really that's what I'm up here. I name my that's why I'm Chong the dog. And the funny thing about it, folks, is when I was getting my channel together, I'm right where I'm at. I'm close to Tommy Chong, and I named my dog after him because I love Tommy Chong. I love Cheech and Chong, but Tommy Chong is one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite people. He really, truly is, and I do enjoy Tommy Chong a lot. I love, I love Up in Smoke. I love all their movies, and we're real close to their channel, and I'm glad where I'm at. I like my positioning on YouTube. I think my positioning on YouTube is a really good spot. And I like being associated with Tommy Chong. I honestly do. And I found that great. I thought it was a good sign. I mean, we're not about weed. I'm not against weed, but we're not all about it. But you know what? It's good. I mean, it helps people. It's a medicine. I use it. It's an anti-inflammatory, friends. Weed. I use the oil from the dispensary. And if I have wounds and they're getting, I guess your wounds, when you get them, they get infected. When you have an infected wound, sometimes the best thing you can do with an infected wound is put some hemp oil on it. You don't even have to put THC oil. Maybe if it hurts you real bad, do the THC. I mean, that's possible. But yeah, I use it all the time for wound care for myself because when you are in nursing, you're always doing your own wound care. That's the most expensive part of medical is the emergency room because these are the nurses that get the most money because wounds can kill you, make you or break you with your health. And this is absolutely true, is the wound. So I do. I use hemp oil on my wounds, and it will take down if it's getting all puffed up and infected. Clean it out real good, and just put some hemp oil on it, and it does help, and it'll take away the pain. And if it's real bad pain, just use the one with the THC oil. You don't always have to. Sometimes I put it in my ear because I get a lot of ear infections. And I do that because it's very natural and it does help. And like I said, I tried it on myself and noticed that it was bringing down the swelling, and I don't have to take antibiotics that much like I used to have to. So I do give this advice out because, yeah, I mean, don't put it in your ear if you don't, if you're not, I mean, if you can ask your doctor, but is it oil? And if you're trying to get wax irrigated out of your ear, you can always get an ear infection, whatever you put in your ear, but the hemp oil seems to help with swelling. And that's what happens. Your ear swells up and gets infected because sometimes when the earwax gets compacted like that, that's what it does. And I've been using that, and I haven't had it. When I have had an ear infection coming on, it hasn't stayed. So I will give you that kind of advice because that is the advice that I have found that works good. And it doesn't hurt anything at all. It comes out of your ear. It'll bring the wax out real nice and bring down the swelling, inflammation. It just brings down a lot of inflammation. You can't always make it to the doctors. You absolutely cannot. I mean, there's certain points in your life where you just can't make it there, and it's okay. Or you just got to get to work. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to sit there and call off work just because you got all this going on with a minor infection and stuff. So I figured to myself, well, I'm in nursing. I'll just take care of it, and I have been doing that, and I swear it works. Oh my god, I swear it works. All right, now I got this going. So I'm representing the green leaves, but yeah, I wanted to embrace. Sometimes I don't talk enough about the animals, but I just want to try to get a nice movement going on. So there's maybe less of that going on in the world. And I do know that sometimes circumstances are meant to happen for certain people to meet up with a certain spiritual animal. I have heard that. And I get that, but I don't think that the lighter realm meant us to be so nasty to animals. I don't think that was in the cards. I wouldn't imagine that somebody that a light being that made us, that loves us, would want us to put cigarette burns out on an animal and this and that. I can't imagine that was in the plan. I think that was in our plans, but I don't think it was in the creator's plan. So I just putting my little thoughts out there because they're my thoughts. And I'm not saying that you guys are bad people. Obviously, if you're listening to me, you're good people. But sometimes that's why I a lot of times try to, I guess I do my penance to the world by trying to just try to bring good thoughts to the world. I feel that it helps the vibration, and I feel whatever I could do to help with all this bad that's going on in the world. I don't think it's always a horrible thing to be doing, trying to overdo good things. It's never a bad thing to stop and feed a stray dog. It's never a bad thing. And it's never bad to try to protect a dog. And it's never bad to maybe want to rescue a dog. I think that's things that make our soul happy. And I do feel, I don't know, Carl Jung says we're all dead. I've been watching a lot of these videos. And he is a very smart psychiatrist, world round, all around the world known. So I do appreciate his work because I am a medical, and you got to appreciate all medical people when you're in my line of work. So I just take my acrylic marker kind of the way I went this way. Got to get every leaf. This is how this goes. All right, now these leaves are green, so we're going to go this way with the paint markers. And then I'm still going to use the other pastel for shading. I'm just going to let this get all nice and dried in here. But yeah, Carl Jung says that we're all dead. I don't know if we all are. I mean, you got a psychiatry is kind of I guess his perspective when he meditated. So I guess you kind of gotta be aware of that was his experience. And possibly we are, but literally might not. Maybe he maybe took it literally, but maybe we're just dead inside until we discover our inner goodness. That's what I took from it. But I'm not saying that Carl Jung was wrong because I do believe he studied empaths, this Carl Jung, from all my little research I've been doing on YouTube. And they share his empathic research. And you can absolutely check him out. They have all of his teachings now that he's obviously dead, and he does a lot of good stuff. So, I do recommend to check him out and get your own perspective, but I think maybe we are dead in a way because when we're unawakened about things, it makes I guess I feel that you do feel dead inside until you're awakened. And I've been awakened for a while, long while. And sometimes I feel more compassion because I'm just awakened. And I think we're all natural empaths. I think sometimes we don't give each other, I think sometimes we don't give each other enough credit, I guess I should say. I don't. I feel like we sometimes just discredit ourselves. And I feel that it's in you. And like I said, if you're a soldier or if you're military or this and that, you're conditioned to kill, to hate, to do this, to do that. That's what you're conditioned to do, though. And there's nothing, it's life. This is really what happens. But I'm gonna put this white. I'm gonna start taking these and put white in there. There we go. I'm just gonna put this white paint right on these leaves. I'm gonna get all this part, and then I'm gonna paint in the bottom with these acrylic paint markers. I mean, it's one way of painting. It truly is. You could do a lot of stuff, and then it lightens everything up better. But yeah, this Carl Jung said we're dead, but I think it's because sometimes we deaden ourselves, and maybe the message got a little bit not clear, but maybe that's the way he's seen it, and that's okay because you know what? We're all different, and all those differences make us special. It does. Our one person's perspective and another's, you put it together, you find the whole truth. And this is what happens. See, there's a fat end and a non-fat end. So, oh, here we go. This has more paint on this end. So I'm going to start shading all these white spots in this way. Because I want the white to show through and be pretty too. And I want some of the where I sketched it through where it looks like a flower to be in there too. So when I get this pastels going, I don't think this one got enough paint. So we're going to do a little more there. There we go. Looks more beautiful now. I don't know if you can see the white part, but it's coming along. And then I'm getting pastels to rub it in after I'm done with all this. But I like to do this because I feel it gives it more depth and niceness and prettiness. And I do have white pastels I'll be using also. But yeah, I've been this Carl Jung. I feel like we deaden ourselves, and I think the message. I don't believe we're dead. He says we're dead. I don't know if I fully believe we're dead. I think the message that he deciphered was we're dead inside until we awaken our inner vibration. And I do believe, he was probably, I mean, he did a lot of scientific studies. And there was time that I felt deadened inside. There really was. There was a time that I just felt like I was dead and I had no purpose until I awakened my inner self. And I think maybe that was the message. But we all interpret things different. We should never discredit one thing for another. We truly should not. Because everyone has a piece of the answer. We really do. And I do believe that. But he has a lot of good inspirational things that they have now that he's long dead. They have his teachings. And he went around and he went to all the people that were empathic that were fighting with depression. And they said that and he even stated, and I actually have experienced this, that empaths, when they go through horrible stuff, they come out with more clairvoyance. And I do realize that this is what happened to me. Through every death or bad experience, empaths find the light. They just do. Anybody can. It's in anybody's anatomy to do it. It's just, is it that what you want? I guess is the big elephant in the room. Because once you accept the world for what it is and see it for what it is, it's not good. Not at all. It kind of makes you sad. It makes me sad that people got to be murdered, people got to die, and how people's souls get tarnished when they could have had so much happiness. And that alone makes me really, really sad. See, I'm coloring ones because the white ones need the most help when I get to this whole pastel shading. And I kind of, when I get my white pastels on here and I shade it out, I want it to be more vibrant and pretty and white. I honestly do. And this middle one here needs more white. It kind of helps out your sketch. It really does. But I wanted to share, my ideas because I study different things. I mean, life's about, you're one big student in life until you die. And then even in death, you learn different things. And then you come back again for more. So before I come back again, I want to make sure that I kind of learned everything I needed to learn. Or at least try to learn what I was supposed to learn. Because I'm going to do these middle parts I'm doing in black. Alright, here we go. Let's do this black marker here. This is my black acrylic marker. Let's start doing this like that. Just real carefully how you sketched it. Do that. There you go. Because I gotta get this very vibrant. Alright, now I got this here to do. I'm almost done. Only been 2 hours, laugh out loud, but yeah, I mean, you guys can put your opinions in here, what you think about Carl Jung, but I don't know. I think he was on to something, but I couldn't tell you what because we all got a piece of the puzzle. Let me know what you feel about Carl Jung. I just tend to listen to people that have spent their whole life doing something. I tried to research scientists that did a lot, like Stephen Hawking. There's another one. Before he died, he claimed there was God, and he seen God. And he said that through all of his research, he feels like he proved the existence of God, and I think he did. Maybe that was his purpose in life to go around and prove the existence of God. Sometimes that's how it is. He was a brilliant mind. Love Stephen Hawking. I mean, it doesn't matter what religion you are or whatever. I believe he was the smartest man in the world. I really do. He did believe that AI was going to eventually destroy humanity. He did believe that, but not everybody knows everything. We got to remember that. But there was a lot of theories like cold fusion he proved was right, linear theory, string theory he proved was right. And if it wasn't for his research, we wouldn't have the James Webb telescope. That we wouldn't have. And it's proven the anomalies of life on Earth and everything else. It really, truly is that James Webb telescope. I think I'm going to outline some of these lilies with another color. Maybe like, I feel like I should outline the with something. But yeah, I do like to listen to people that have researched things because I feel if you research things, you kind of have a better understanding of life. All right, I'm gonna use gold. I'll do gold here in the back here. Just some really pretty, vibrant color. I don't want to make it. I'm not trying to make it a bad thing. I want to make the lilies pretty. Alright, I'm gonna bring this down here just to outline some of this and make that nice. I mean, you can make anything, you can make it abstract or non abstract. I just feel like there should be more concentration, a color that brings out these lilies. That's what I feel. I feel it would look nicer that way. And hey, when you're the artist, when you're doing your own stuff here, you can always play around with these things. I started sketching because I had these ideas and I was like, why be a backseat driver? So I just started teaching myself. If they could do all this sketching and stuff, then so can I, since I want to give so much criticism. So I got my own ideas as I went along. And there's nothing wrong with getting your own ideas. This is what we're supposed to be doing as humans, anyways. Alright, now I'm going to bring this down like this. And I'm just going along the lines of these sketches. Bring it over that way. Get nice and pretty. Alright, there we go. There we go. There. I don't know. I think the gold is really making these kind of turn out really pretty. I really never thought about like a gold kind of as my acrylic markers, but you know what? I think it's working out for me. I really do. I'm very excited about this. Sometimes you just play around with these kind of things that happen. Sometimes I get my most pro- prophetic thoughts when I'm sketching or dog walking. It's crazy, but I do. But yeah, I'm very interested in Mr. Hawking. He is one of my, I think, one of the most influential people of this century. I will put that out there. I like that he had polio, built his own chair, and he couldn't talk, but he made a device where he can communicate and he can still do his research. You got to admire that out of a person. And he really did help our communication network altogether. He honestly did. If it wasn't for him, AI wouldn't be what it is. It absolutely would not. And he got married. And one of my residents told me he was a Stephen Hawking fan like me also. And he got married and he built his own. He would crawl up the stairs to be with his wife. And that's what he did. You got to admire that in a man. He had the world against him. The entire world. That horrible disease he got and everything, and yet he became one of the most prophetic minds and really couldn't speak, but he found a way. I had some more green leaves this way, but he found a way to have his voice heard. I find that just incredibly, I just find that incredible that he did this. Because I like to celebrate people's achievements. I really do. Because there's people out there a lot more problems than us. And I do honestly recognize people when they say this, and I honestly wholeheartedly believe them. And just that he had the whole world against him and somehow he put it all together and said F you, that's a lot of strength. That shows personal strength when you could do that. And it's people like that I look up to. I feel it's it's a good thing to have people like that in the world that could show you can have strength in your darkest hour. And I feel like people like that has innovative and shaped our future, that went through such hardships, show us that we could do a lot with our lives. That's why I decided if Stephen Hawking can crack all of these different theories scientifically and build himself his own wheelchair, I could teach myself how to draw. He had a lot of faith in human mankind. If you kind of followed Stephen Hawking, he had faith in humankind that if we really tried, to persevere we could. And he really did. And he had a lot of hope for us. And I hope in his eternal resting place he has peace, because I feel that he deserved it. He totally deserved peace. He was just so important to the scientific community. He was important to the spiritual community. People won't admit it. No, they will not. But I feel he was. I feel he was very, because all of his stuff, study and energy, literally echoes our world around us, no matter what religion you are. He studied the energy that we all feel. He's the variable that put a name to it. And you got to respect that. I give him a lot of respect for it. A lot. Tons of mad respect for this, because it is what it is there. But yeah, I guess in the end I always respect science because I respect energy. And if you follow energy, you follow science. Do I believe in one God? I don't think I do. I believe God is just energy. I do believe that, people want to believe in this energy the way they want to believe it. I believe not one person is more special than another. I really don't. I believe every religion has the same purpose within itself. I do, because scientifically, we all give out all this energy. And if you study physics and all these different things, people that will come and tell you certain things, sometimes your families, because I'm Catholic and I get this a lot. I'm going to still shade this in with my other stuff, but I got that. And you could keep it like this, or you could totally do it another way. It's just kind of what you want to do with it at this point. But, anyways, getting back to my scientific thing about Mr. Hawking. Mr. Hawking himself, I believe, had energy where it needed to be. And I believe in these black holes is a lot of suction of energy. A lot. Now, these are white soft pastels, and they're really good when you're trying to like do faces or like get little lilies looking nice. And I buy them separately because as a sketch artist, you go through so many of these damn things. You really do. But this is just an abstract painting of lilies. It's not meant to be realistic, not at all. So, not at all. But yeah, I do believe that he has the energy down pat, and I don't think that the light god wanted us to like. They do a lot. I used to hear a lot in the Middle East that there was people with machine guns by those temples around the Holy Land. When I was growing up, they used to have machine guns over by there. I think it had a lot to do with the war. I really do think that it was a lot to do with the war times, but I don't think that the one light that is God, I don't think he wanted us to go around with machine guns and shoot people because they were one faith. And I will be the one to say it, even if I don't get a subscription because of it, and it's okay. It's totally okay. And I'm fine with it. But I don't think he meant for religion to become destructive. because religion is meant to make you more solitude. It really is. It's meant to make you more peaceful and realize why you shouldn't kill people. It shouldn't be showing you why you should. It's meant to make you more peaceful because if you follow any monk teachings, I listen to these monks too, and these monks, I've seen them. They have sandals, and they climb mountains with sandals, and they live a long time. They're able to prolong their lives and everything else. And these guys don't lift a hand to hurt nobody, not at all. And yeah, they don't get married because their life is for helping people and stuff. But I mean, that's your own choice in life. You don't have to have a family and this and that. You absolutely do not have to, and it's okay if you don't. But I don't know. I feel the monks have it right. We're supposed to be at a higher vibration, and we are supposed to be coming together. And when you're doing stuff and nothing is really coming together in your life, and it gets to a point where it's that violent, I just feel like at that point it's not meant for you to be in that path. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm more of a person of scientific theory, but that's what I feel. And I try to do my little part in the world, and I try to give back as much as I can. All right, these are my hard pastels. These are the chalk ones. These always fall apart, but save your little edges. I'm taking these in the middle here. Even though I got the paint on there, I'm using these too. Because it just layers it nicely. 'Cause you have your paint, and now you have this, and it just looks like a really pretty abstract painting. And it's so easy to do. It really is. I'm just putting this all in the green. It's almost like coloring. It's just you made the picture to color. Honestly, that's the only difference. And then you go in all these little leaves and color in the middle where you put the acrylic markers in. But yeah, this was just a friendly conversation. I would not say I'm not a monk. I'm not a spiritualist in any form, shape like that. I can read energy, but I would say that somebody that dedicated their whole life to religion and the study of God and stuff would be someone who would be a go to for that. But I can tell you the origins of energy and people that are very well respected in communities, the scientific communities that have found the presence, and a lot of them didn't believe in God at first. That's the funny thing. Stephen Hawking was an atheist. He really honestly was. I don't lie. But before he died, he said there was an existence of God because he studied so much energy. And that's the honest to God truth because there has to be a God out there for us to got this far or something or some being out there that created us. There has to be. I think they're all one and the same. It's just we see him or we see the energy all in different ways. I really honestly believe that. I believe we were meant to be united and not to be separated. And it makes me sad when people separate themselves from the whole. And the whole is your happiness. the part of you that is meant to move on and experience certain things. And if you stop yourself from these experiences, sometimes you miss it in little glimpses. You really won't notice it at first, but you do kind of miss it in a way. And you miss the main message sometimes when you're looking at all these, the way that other people see things. That I like to see their outlook, and then I try to put it together all myself and try to figure out the way I see it, the way I understand it. Because when I studied the Bible, when I was in Catholic school, they told me that the Bible does not have literal meanings all the time. Now you could talk to somebody and they see it a different way, and that's okay. That is absolutely fine to see things in different ways. And a lot of the priests and stuff, they do see things in different ways than we see it. And the way one person sees it is not wrong for what another person sees it for. I will say that. You should never discredit and say, no, that I'm this religion, it's this way. Don't ever discredit someone and be nasty about it. Just say, okay, I don't know if I see it in your perspective, and you move on with your life. And that's it. I guess. That's what I do. I just moving on along. Now when you do this, take this and rub this way. See how you got this here? You have enough. Like, I'm going to try to fill this in with pink from down here. You got enough of this little bit of pastel to rub through here and give it a really pretty look. And if you do it with your finger, which I was taught to do by one of the people I took care of that died, rest in peace, Sharon, you could do that. Now I'm going to do this and put a little purple in the front. So I don't want the purple to get anywhere near my flowers on the inside. I want them to stand out, yeah, that I do. I want it to be more of a background because this is supposed to be a painting and it's spirit. It's a sketch painting. So all these areas where it's white and there's no leaves, I'm going to go ahead and just put some purple in it. There, I'll get some more purple up here. Right in here. Put some happy purple. And there, and in here. This is really turning out to be a nice little masterpiece here. And I'm taking this, I'm just going to rub it over here. Just like that. I want it to have carry the colors of the vase and stuff up here to make it look nice and happy. Alright, I think I got that. I got that so far. Now I just gotta rub the flowers. Just gotta rub the flowers too. They're so important. You can't forget about the flowers and the leaves. The leaves make everything so happy. I always feel like I have a better day after I do this. There you go. Forgot about those happy little leaves. I got this one white spot. There we go. Oop, right there too. Alright. Just want to stain this with a little bit here because I don't want any white spots showing. I want it to be looking like canvas. There you go. Making it look like a happy canvas now. Then you wipe your fingers down. And then take your leaves and go rub the way of the leaves. And it in between your acrylic paint markers and the pastel, which you can paint with pastels and don't even have to use any paint if you don't want to, which half the time I am. I'm gonna probably eventually try to teach myself how to use the oil paintings more proficient. But you know what? Where I'm a student in life, as they say, that will come in time. My one friend that's an accomplished oil painter said she can't do this because she knows how to do oil painting itself but doesn't know how to do the pastels. So I don't like to limit myself in my life. Life is too short to limit yourself. Way too short. That's what you don't want to do. Just get any of these gaps in here. You got to rub them in. And if you could put a little green in with the pink back here, so what? It actually just makes the color a little different and nice and gives it nice texture. Because you're just looking at different shadings at that point. And shading is so important in your colors and everything. Because when you go get a tattoo, would say, "Oh, the shading was awesome." That's what they say when you go get a tattoo. How nice the shading was. So that's what you got to do when you sketch. Make sure your shading is good. And then once you almost got all of this out, just make sure you go through this again. Just to make sure all of this is in there nice after you like move the stuff off your finger too. Alright. And we are finally done. And here it is, folks. There it is. And all I did was acrylic markers and I just looked at a vase with a basic thing and made my own. You make it your own. That's it. And you know what? You can put it on your door. You can put it in your living room. You could give it for a present. You could do anything with this. It has limited possibilities. And you can just give it to somebody just because they've had a shitty day and you want to make their life better. Most of the time this happens. I don't know. It might go to one of my residents. I'm not going to lie. I might probably give it to one of them. I like to give things to the sick people. But I'm going to let you go. Thank you for listening. And I'm probably going to go on a little nature journey to try to get more photography videos in. Because Google does all of mine. Thank you, Google. I do want to say a thanks to Google, even though I think Google listens, but yeah, Google Photos. I do want to give a shout out to Google Photos. They will help you, and I have 5 years of memories. And you pay $8 in storage, and they make your own videos for you on your pictures, and it's the memories. And then you could do video or you could just share over, and then when you share it over to YouTube, it doesn't even take storage out of your phone. And for $8 a month, I've been doing that for like 5 years, and it's been my best friend. So I'm gonna feed into the Google, and I'm gonna be going on a nature walk soon and see what I can get. And I wait, and when the videos usually take a couple days, and it goes through. I have over 5,000 pictures and videos, so. And I try to put together good, clever ones because I feel it's more fun. And have a good day.